Hello, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen. We are going to do a 4-part. You can pick one of the keys to see what you're unlocking in the beginning of the year. What your gift is, what your door is, what your genetic code that we are going to be unlocking. What part of your inner self that we're going to be unlocking, your genetic coding that's going to be unlocked. So you can pick between one of the 4 piles, and there will be a timestamp in the time bar. Pile 1, hello. How are you doing? Let's get into this. So 2026 is here. We are at 7:11 p.m. Third day of the year, 2026. So let's see what we get. The card that you pulled was leadership. So this is going to talk about arrogance. The shadow is arrogance and the gift is leadership, while the city or the divine essence or the divine emanation of this door or this key is humility. So the lowest frequency of the 31st gene key is going to show up as arrogance, the urge to control, dominate, or assert oneself through speech and ideas. This isn't simply confidence, but a mindset rooted in ego, insecurity, and a belief in separate control rather than collective service. The shadow uses language not to empower, but to manipulate or control others. Whether overt or subtle, the shadow isolates and disconnects from authentic connection. So give me a message about the arrogance. So somebody might be showing arrogance in the way they're communicating to you. Connection. Nurture meaningful connections with others. They enrich life and support understanding. Talk to me a little bit about the shadow of this gene key. Explain to me the shadow. How is this person being arrogant? Show me the arrogance that this person is trying to overcome, or that they might not even be aware of. This could be you or somebody in your life. We have the 2 of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Chariot. So there's something here that I feel like intuitively, the intuition doesn't yell. The intuition is really quiet. The intuition is something that's just going to kind of be like, it's going to subtly just like be that little tiny voice or that little tiny feeling that you get. It's like, this is the way that we need to go, or this is the way that something should be. And arrogance or a need to control people that you're with, people you're connected to, is not quiet, right? It's going to be domineering. This could even be somebody that like watches you like create your own demise even a little bit. There is a sense of victory here though, but you have to listen to your intuition. If you don't listen to your inner intuition, there's no way that this is going to happen or that this is going to be doable. And you can see here that this 2 of Swords person is blindfolded. They don't have the ability to see, they just have the ability to feel, maybe the ability to listen. The ability to feel and listen, hear. taste, or even smell. But they don't have the ability to see. So whenever this person makes a decision, you can find it, you can probably like assume that it will be based somewhat in justice, right? You think of justice, you think of like the Greek goddess Themis, who is the goddess of justice. She's blindfolded. She holds a scale in one hand and a sword in the other. And that's because, but the justice card doesn't have a blindfold on, but it talks about her ability to weigh something out, to weigh two situations, and without needing to look or without needing to, right, she will just decisively cut something, and it won't be something that will be returnable, but this could be out of arrogance, so somebody could be jumping the gun on something. The gift is leadership. So the real evolution of the 31st gene key is leadership, but not leadership as we typically think of it, like authority or hierarchy or somebody that holds a position of power. Leadership with this card or with this gate, this key, is going to mean leading by example and not by ego. So having integrity and just doing what you know is right, being the one that's going to make the move and not necessarily need to talk so much about it, using the voice to inspire rather than to dominate, encouraging others to discover and express their own truths. So giving people the space to use their own intuition and to kind of lead and guide themselves. And I think that by you standing strong in who you are and doing the same thing, that will happen. Encouraging others to discover and express their own truth. Serving the collective good rather than self-interest. This leadership is subtle yet far-reaching. People choose to follow because they feel genuinely heard, understood, and seen, not because someone forces a direction. So if you're feeling like you have the ability to lead, the best thing to do is to just take control of yourself and your own direction, and to really just move and go about things in the way that you know is right. You need to act in a way where you know what is best for everyone. You have the ability and you know what the best decision is, right? You wouldn't have pulled the leadership card if that wasn't the case. So just keep in mind the people that you have some sort of power over, or the collective good, right? Like take in mind what other people might be going through. Try and see it from other perspectives. Don't just see it from the perspective of you being in charge and trying to gain or to get exactly everything you want, right? You are in charge. You have the power in some way. You lead someone. So it's your job to take the time out to assess the things that need to be assessed in order to be a good leader, right? It takes humility, and that's the highest expression of the gene key is humility. Not self-deprecation, but a state of being where one recognizes the sacred connectedness of all life. Leadership arises through a deep listening and truthful expression of yourself. One leads without needing credit, spotlight, or ego validation. This humility allows influence without domination, guidance without forcing outcomes. So just allowing what's going to happen, not forcing things, allowing the universe and the people that inhabit the universe to act as they will. People aligned with this key may feel called to lead or influence at key moments in life, especially where truth and integrity matter. That keyword integrity is really important here. Often you can often influence others through clear communication, vision, and integrity, emphasis on integrity rather than hierarchy. right? So even if you don't necessarily hold all the power, you can still lead by example by doing what's right. And even if that means going against what everyone else is doing. So if you want to, so to reflect on this gene key, it says where ego versus heart-centered where ego versus heart-centered intention influences your communication. So speaking from your heart versus speaking from your ego. If you can find the difference between the two, your heart might be something more meaningful, but the ego could also seem very meaningful as well. And sometimes as a leader, you do have to make decisions that can be harsh and that can be cruel and that can be unfavorable to some people. And you have to just be okay with that. And you have to accept that as the leader, you can make those decisions. If you believe that that's what's right for you and the group that you're leading, you have to be able to make those tough decisions. Sometimes you have to put your foot down. Sometimes you have to say no. Sometimes you have to restrain yourself. It's not always just a party all the time. Sometimes you literally have to, hold yourself back from, or hold the line a little bit. And if you don't feel like you can speak from a place that is heartfelt and meaningful, maybe it's best to just not say anything at all. Reflect on how your words shape your reality and your relationships. So really focusing on your communication here. How do you communicate with people? How can you communicate better with the people that you're connected to? There's nurture meaningful connections with others. They enrich life and support understanding. Moments where speaking your truth might feel arrogant, but actually serves a larger purpose. Exactly what I was just saying. Sometimes you have to do things where someone might view what you're doing as arrogance. And maybe that's just part of this key in general, is that depending on, what position you are, whether you're the one that holds the leadership or whether you're on the outside and someone else holds the leadership, someone's decision or someone's lack of decision or someone's, decision-making skills, or maybe the way that they communicate or their lack thereof communication could seem arrogant depending on what your perspective is on the situation. True leaders, this is what Richard Rudd says, the creator of the Gene Keys. True leaders, at least the new leaders, are forged by life. This isn't something we decide. It's something our Dharma decides long before we become an adult. So the summary is, the 31st Gene Key describes a journey of leadership that evolves through how one uses their voice and influence. At its shadow level, it expresses arrogance, where communication is driven by ego, control, or the need to be recognized as right or superior. As this pattern matures, it transforms into the gift of leadership, which is not about authority or dominance, but about guiding others through authenticity, clarity, and example. People follow because they feel inspired, not forced. At its highest expression, the city of humility, leadership becomes almost invincible, and the individual no longer seeks recognition, but serves as a clear channel for collective truth and direction. True power here comes from deep listening, self-awareness, and a devotion to serving the greater good rather than the self. So we can see here that this evolution of what that really looks like, and the arrogance is, we have connection, right? We have connection with the Two of Swords, which can talk about, maybe not being fully aware of the way that you speak when you're making a decisive call about something, or at times maybe, or maybe if you're frustrated, right? The people you are connected to. We have friendship. You know, as you begin leading, and as, you know, especially if the people you're leading do, you know, follow you, and they follow you willingly, and they follow you because they can, because they want to, because they believe in you, and because you're doing what you're leading in the way that you know that you should. As your leadership skills develop, you might even begin to build friendships with the people that were at one point in time following you. Meaningful, lasting connections and relationships. And you're able to really intuitively know and see and understand what these people need and what they feel on a deep level, but also you're able to just kind of know without them even needing to say anything. You just know. There's just a feeling of knowing, and knowing what you should do. And then we have the Chariot, and there's adventure. Embrace the adventure as a journey of exploration and discovery. It adds excitement and growth. The Chariot is really a card of triumph and of success and of fun, right? Especially if you have a chariot, you know, you can ride into somewhere in style. You don't have to ride into somewhere, you know, on the city bus, but you're really doing something in style. You're going through on the Chariot, which is triumph and success and just an overall sense of fun, right? The Chariot can be fun, even if it is through something stressful. It's something where it's like you might get hyped up, and you might even have to stand up for what you know is right, or what you think is right. I don't know if that's making any sense. I think we're gonna end this pile here. We're gonna pull a little card. Something from here. The second house. Patiently what you want and get what you need. Your beliefs, what you value, and your resources. Patiently. Okay, so you might be having to have patience. There could be something that's requiring patience of you right now. What you want. It looks like something that you want is going to be successful. We have empathy with Mercury. Mercury in the second house is an extremely good placement. People with Mercury in the second house tend to be very firm and have the ability to really stand really firmly on their boundaries and on their morals and on what they believe is right, and really have profound minds, right? You could be an engineer, you could be somebody that builds things, or you could work in tech or something like that. Yeah, we have Venus in Taurus. Like a flower in spring, with the crown chakra as well. That's one of the most beautiful placements that one can have in a chart, is Venus in Taurus. It's really just the energy. Think of like a flower in spring, exactly like that, but it can be somebody very abundant, somebody that's very beautiful and really likes beautiful things and nice things and things that smell good and things that look good and things that just are good, okay? We have Venus, we also have Mercury, so empathy. I think that's the last one we're gonna pull out. What's this top one? Yeah, I think we're gonna leave that there. So that's gonna be your reading for pile 1. I hope you liked your reading. I hope that it made sense for you. And if you want to pick another pile, we are going to move on to that right now. Happy 2026. Thanks for watching. pile 2. Hi, how are you doing? We have the 30th gene key here, which is going to be lightness. And we'll talk a little bit about this. Let's get your oracle cards out. We're going to get 3 of them. Last shuffle. All right. So, we don't know what this first one is. We do know that the last 2, which is interesting because conspiracy, notice how the word, I just noticed how the word veil is the same letters as evil, as well as live, as well as vile. Interesting. Trust your instincts to uncover hidden truths. And that's going to come with rapture. That's the city that we see here with this 30th key. So we have rapture. And that's the highest expression of the 30th gene key. It's a state of ecstatic presence where desire dissolves completely. Fulfillment is no longer sought. It is experienced in the now. Emotional energy transforms into spiritual bliss. Life itself becomes a continuous revelation, free from longing or regret. Rapture is not excitement. It is a deep, radiant aliveness that arises when the heart is no longer chasing experience, but fully inhabiting it. Conspiracy. Interesting. Your gift, which is backwards because it goes from city to gift to shadow. So the gift is leap forward, takes bold steps towards your goals. Courage opens doors to new opportunities and adventures. This is the second time we've seen the word adventure come out in this reading. But the gift, which is what the card initially unlocks, which is lightness, and you have a leap forward. Okay, this looks like Robin Williams. And awareness deepens, desire softens into the gift of lightness. Here emotions are still rich and intense, but they are no longer burdensome. One learns to feel deeply without attachment. Passion becomes playful rather than consuming. Emotional experiences are embraced as transient waves rather than defining truths. Lightness brings emotional resilience, the ability to enjoy fully without being crushed by its impermanence. Joy and pain are both welcomed, but neither is clung to it. So there's an energy here of really needing to release. Release your need, or release your desire. What are you clinging so tightly to? We're going to start with the city, and then at the end we're going to get to the shadow of desire. Right? So this could be a situation where, you get your needs met, something you need gets met, and the desire goes away. But then it's something that always kind of comes back. It's like you get this desire, you get this need, and then you get this need met, and then it kind of comes back. There could be conspiracy around, or people could be beginning, like if this is something like a desire that you have that maybe you keep silent or you keep secret, something you don't really tell very many people about, something that, and I feel like it's kind of like you get this need met And then slowly you kind of trickle back down until you get to this point of, I need this again. Like, if I don't have this, I need this. And it's something that just happens. So let's see, when you have this desire, like say a conspiracy, okay, so you have this desire met, and there could be something about the way that you act that is much more like the lightness, but also it's more like rapture. It's like you get taken to a new level. I feel like this is something that you can't give yourself. This is something that you have to get from another person or another thing, a substance, something that you do, something that gives you a thrill, something that makes you feel full. There could be conspiracy around this, just like in the way that you act. You could act much more kind, or you could just act, right? Somebody could be catching on to what it is that you are, what you're addicted to, or what it is that you're attracted to, or what it is that you feel as though you need to do, that you're always doing. Or not always. I feel like it's like, it's not always, but it's often, right? It might even be something where it's like, it was only a few times and now it's like you're getting the urge to do this even more and more and more and more. So there is something here about when you are in this energy of just having released, or just having let go, just having like, just having reached this point where you feel really good. Okay, give me the answer to the, give me a card. I need to know what is conspiracy. What is leap forward? All right. And let's start talking about this desire. So the shadow of this. This is about an emotional desire, passion, intensity, and how human longing can either trap us in suffering or open us up to a profound spiritual ecstasy. The gene key governs the way we attach to experiences, outcomes, and feelings, revealing the fine line between emotional bondage and emotional awakening. At its shadow frequency, the gene key 30 manifests as a desire in its most compulsive form. This is not a healthy wanting, but an emotional fixation. The belief that fulfillment lies in the future experiences, relationships, or outcomes. Life is lived through anticipation and disappointment. Emotional highs and lows dominate, creating cycles of craving, dissatisfaction. There is a tendency to dramatize feelings or cling to intensity as proof of aliveness. So this could be something like, I don't know if you deal with feelings of like death, or if you just feel like gloomy, or if there's like a sense of like deep despair that you kind of go through. And it's something that makes you feel alive. It's something that makes you feel, you could be going through a midlife crisis, maybe. Give me a card here. What is this desire? Healing. Nurture yourself through healing practices. Inner peace and strength come from self-care. And we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay. I don't like that so much, but we can try and look at it from a different perspective. Somebody here could have a fixation with younger girls. Somebody could have a fixation with younger girls. Somebody here could have a fixation for something that is outside of their realm of what they should have or what they're allowed to have, right? This person could be married. This person here could be, I'm just looking at that and like the Page of Pentacles looking really young, okay? This person here could have kind of like a dirty mind, or somebody that's kind of like, has like a fixation on the things in life that they shouldn't or don't have a little bit. It's low-key giving Jeffrey Epstein for me a little bit right now. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of what it's giving. Some of you are gonna have like a fixation on that, or they just really are interested in those kind of things. Like there's something that they don't have in their physical reality, in their vicinity. They might not even have the ability to pull or to have someone, or would they even want someone in their life, but they like have a need or a desire to see, or maybe it's healing for them, to nurture yourself through healing practices. Inner peace and strength come from self-care. What is this leap forward? Justice and the Lovers. Well, Justice is going to talk about balance, and it's going to talk about equality and fairness, and a sense of what is right is what is going to come to pass or come to play. And notice how before we had, I guess you weren't in pile 1 per se, but in pile 1 we had the 2 of Swords, and I was talking about the Justice card. There could be this could even be a daughter per se, or somebody that you have a leadership connecting to what came out in the last reading. This could have something to do with a daughter or a girl or a woman or someone younger than you, somebody that you have some sort of dominion over. Okay, where maybe you're not, maybe this person isn't necessarily the one that's having the desire, right? Last card was leadership, and here we have lightness. And I feel like you can sense that there is someone's desire. Someone is having a desire. There's a desire. Somebody wants something to be, they have a desire. There's something that they want to be fixed. There's something that they want to have done. There's someone that they want to go see. And I feel like you might have the say-so. You might have the authority in the situation. And you might have to be the one to make the executive decision of whether this desire is something that's actually going to bring a sense of lightness, if it's even really the right thing at all to have done. Okay, Justice is going to talk about balance, and what is the right thing that is supposed to have happened will happen. Okay, I do see connection, but that's also going to talk about a choice. So there's some sort of choice that you have here, is really the best way that I can put it. Fulfillment is no longer sought. So there is something here about a desire for connection. But there's somebody in the way that has the authority to make this connection happen or to not make this connection happen. Someone has the clearance or someone has the power. So a way that this gene key can show up, experience intense emotional lives and deep passion for living, for loving even, are often drawn to romance, creativity, art, or spiritual paths involving devotion and feeling, are here to learn that suffering does not come from emotion itself, but from attachment to emotion. They become powerful teachers, consciously or unconsciously, of how to live passionately without being consumed. Contemplation practices. If you want to integrate this gene key, if you feel like this is a reading for you, where desire turns into expectation. Where does desire turn into expectation? If you want something, are you wanting something and then expecting it? Or are you wanting it and truly being open to what the universe has to give you? How attachment to emotional outcomes creates suffering. So how can you detach yourself from this emotion? Because what if you don't get what you want? Then what? What changes when you allow feelings to arise and pass without resistance? So how can you allow these feelings of desire, desire for connection, and instead of suppressing them, or instead of, reaching out or trying to go and achieve these desires in a way that might not necessarily be exactly what you want, but it's kind of close to what you want. It's not exactly what you want, but it's kind of close to what you want. How can you eliminate that and allow yourself the time to experience the feeling of desire, sit with it and allow it, and then release it without actually having to have that thing fulfilled? Because you might not get what you want. The key insight of the Gene 30 is desire does not need to be eliminated, only understood. So where is the desire coming from? Is it a desire to heal? Are you getting paranoid? Are you paranoid? Conspiracy could talk about paranoia. Right? If someone's not necessarily with you, or if you're not necessarily with someone, you could be over thinking it in your mind and not sure about where or what this person's doing. You could be really over contemplating someone's actions or what they're thinking about you or what they're doing. You could be allow those thoughts to come and then just kind of release them. Try and seek to understand try and exist beyond the desire. So to sum this up, it says the 30th gene key describes the transformation of emotional intensity into spiritual fulfillment through our relationship with desire. At its shadow self, it manifests as desire, where emotional craving and attachment to outcomes create cycles of longing, disappointment, and suffering. As awareness deepens, the intensity softens into the gift of lightness, allowing one to experience passion and emotion fully without being weighed down by expectation or fixation. So are you obsessing about something? Are you obsessing about the outcome for something? At its highest expression, the city of rapture, desire, dissolves entirely, and life is experienced as an ongoing state of ecstatic presence where fulfillment is no longer sought in the future, but is felt directly in the now. Let's get your oracle cards. This doesn't go on too long. We have Scorpio. Purification to resurrect, the secrets of resulting from the power of the extraordinary power of prayer, the highest and lowest aspects of, and control the situation. And so are you being really controlling of the situation because there's a desire that you're feeling like you're not getting met? We have creative intimacy with the heart chakra, and White Moon Selena in Capricorn, which that's going to put Black Moon Selena in Cancer. What a difficult placement to have. Wow, I couldn't imagine that. We also have the 8th house. We have Gemini. So we have Gemini, we have Scorpio, we have the 8th house, and we have creative intimacy. The 8th house is going to talk a lot about, it says as a life or death issue, getting and using power and other people's resources. Personal power, the mysteries of life, and a major change. So the 8th house can talk about, our marital partners, or, major change. It can be other people's finances, other people's resources by way of a major change, like losing a job, losing a life, right? Getting hurt and injured and receiving money. It can be inheritances, so it can be by way of death. Okay, so we also have Scorpio, which is the natural ruler of the 8th house. Creative intimacy. There could definitely be somebody here that's in like a relationship with somebody that's older than them, or a relationship with somebody that's younger than them. We have Gemini, what you want to be known, what is believed about, and use the quickest way, and information to explain, communications about, and resulting from the fluctuations of. There could definitely be somebody that has like a really secret side to them. I want to say that somebody has a really secret side that you might not really see, and you might not necessarily really even know that this is what they're going through if you're not on the inside of what this desire is. Okay, somebody here could have a fetish that you can't fulfill for them if you're their wife, or if you're their significant other. This could be something that they keep secret to themselves. This could be somebody could be gay. Somebody could be straight up gay. Somebody here could be gay, and they might need to have their fix of going and being gay. Or, I don't know what it is, right? This could be when things start getting rough around the home or around the house, they feel the need to go and express themselves with somebody that's not super attached to them and not super controlling to them, and somebody that they just feel like they can express themselves with. And it can be like an in and out, wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of energy. So that's your message for pile 2. I hope you liked your reading. And I will see you guys on the next one. Wait. Pile 3. Hello. How are you doing? I took a little bit of a break, but I am here. We're doing pile 3 now. And we have the card, which is the 18th gene key of integrity, which was a keyword coming out for the first pile. So you could have been drawn to the first pile, but the first pile was also connected to the second pile, as I'm sure the third pile will probably be connected to the fourth pile. So that all kind of ties together, I'm sure. If you have enough time, watch them all. Maybe you had a connection to pile 1. Let's do this. So we have the 18th gene key. The shadow is going to be judgment. The gift, of course, is the integrity. And the city is perfection. Notice how she has a tiger on her throat right there. That looks like a tiger, isn't it? Looks like a tiger with a blue nose. And then a peacock on her third eye. This might be somebody that sees things, has like their internal picture, the way that they perceive things, the way that they see things in their head is much more spectacular than it might be in reality. This could be somebody with a really big voice. With this tiger here, I think the tiger comes in. It reminds me of that Cat Williams stand-up stand-up comedy when he talks about the tigers being a real tiger in a fake ass habitat. Real fucking tiger, fake ass habitat. Go watch Cat Williams and the tiger. That could be important. Hey, can you back up? Because you're stepping on everything. Back up. Linda, back it away. Thanks, baby. Love you. Hey, I love you. Are you a tiger? The big tiger? Blue nose tiger? No. I will scratch it for you. Come here, I'll scratch your eyeballs for you. Her eyeballs are itching. Give me these eyeballs. I'll scratch them. I can scratch them for you. Okay, get going. Oh, take that sign a minute. Go that way. Okay. All right. There you go. All right. Let's get these cards out. So we're gonna get 3 cards to represent the 3 stages of this key. The second key was kind of regressing, in my opinion. And we'll see how it goes with you. I'm just gonna listen to my intuition. So the 18th gene key centers on correction, discernment, and the refinement of systems, both inner and outer. It governs the human instinct to notice what is wrong and the deeper purpose of transforming criticism into wisdom, healing, and ethical leadership. Is this a Gemini? Is this a Gemini gate? It sounds like a Gemini gate to me. I mean, not a Gemini, I'm sorry. It could be a Gemini gate. Is this a Virgo gate? This could be a Virgo gate. You could be a Virgo. It's giving Virgo. Sidereal Leo, maybe. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe it could be Pisces as well. But it's giving Virgo to me. Tropical Virgo is what it's reminding me of. It's reminding me of a tropical Virgo. This is the 3rd pile, and I do have Virgo on my descendant. So if the first pile were to represent my ascendant, the second pile would represent my IC, and the 3rd pile would represent my descendant. So we have integrity, which is really in alignment with what the ascendant or the first pile was talking about. And that was all about leadership, and integrity was a key factor or a key mode of learning how to express that voice of leadership. Learning to express that voice of leadership. And so this is going to really talk a lot about perspective. And so now it's like, as we get into these second piles, it's really important for me to step out of myself and to try and get into the perspective of what my descendant would be feeling, right? How is my descendant feeling? What is the relationships in my life like? And how is 2026 unlocking for them? And it's looking like integrity. So it's really important, if I'm being asked to act in a way that is showing leadership, and integrity was a key word to unlocking that sense of authority and of leadership. Ego-free, right? Collective consciousness centered leadership. Somebody that's going to do what is right for the collective, for the humanity, for what is right for everyone, because that's what a true leader does. And arrogance free, and the only way to really reach that is by having integrity, by doing what is right regardless of who is watching, regardless of what is going on, regardless of just doing what is right because you know that it's the right thing to do. Having a good moral compass and being able to really, hold yourself to that moral compass, not swaying too far from it, right? Still being open to seeing other people's perspectives of things, but understanding where you stand and how you stand and the way that you were raised. And this is really going to go a lot with this second house where there's this tiger, and being really strong and ferocious and not allowing yourself to be swayed through other people, especially if other people are trying to lead you or trying to tell you a direction to go. And you have to be able to understand that if something is not right for you, if something goes against what you stand for, what you believe in, you have to be able to say no. You have to be able to say, I understand that you might be the person that's used to leading, but I'm in charge of my own vessel, and what you're trying to lead me into might not be making me feel comfortable. And a good leader connecting to that first pile, just because I was speaking so, like, integrity wasn't a word that, I think it came out in the last paragraph that I read, but I had made an emphasis on the word integrity, and then it said it in the last paragraph that I read, and that was just a further confirmation. And now it's even confirming it further that word integrity is so important. And so there could be situations where somebody in your life might be trying to lead you a way that goes against your sense of integrity. Or maybe this leader is somebody that follows the status quo a little bit too much, and you're here to teach them how to say no, how to stand up to their superiors or to the people that are forming their sense of right and wrong, or forming their whatever their perception or whatever their idea of what a good leader should be doing. Even if it goes against their sense of integrity, maybe you're here to be the one to show them how to say no. Maybe with this peacock on her forehead, she could be talking a lot about, or be giving you the ability to see things in a new perspective, in a way where you don't have to follow the tried and true ways, but you can step out of the box, or you can, make the box tighter. You can make the boundaries firmer, or you can expand the boundaries. And I feel like that's what this descendant energy is really going to teach you, either how to expand, but it could also be how to set up stronger boundaries depending on the situation. We haven't pulled any other cards. Yeah, courage. Connection, that came out in the first reading for the shadow, and connection is coming out for the gift in this person. So this person with integrity could have been in this situation longer, right? They could have more seniority, is that the word I'm looking for? Than you. And this is destiny that you're meeting this person, that you're encountering this person. Follow the path that aligns with your true purpose and aspirations. It unfolds your unique journey. You have to have the courage to, when you feel something, when you feel a connection, and even tying into that conspiracy card that we pulled for the city in the second pile, conspiracy. If you're making a connection to something, if you're seeing something, if you're, putting two and two together in some way, you have to be able to express that, especially to the people that are in charge, right? You have to be able to have a space, and if your leader or your the people that are in charge of you, your bosses, the people that help manage your life in some way, maybe it's just somebody that has some sort of authority in a situation. It could be inside of a store, somebody that works there. It could be your property manager. It could be your landlord. It could be your boss. It could just be the person that has the control, or somebody that's overseeing an area that you might be in. If you see something, you might have to have the courage to say something. And by you saying something, you're going to walk into this energy of destiny. Face fears with courage and determination. Bravery opens doors to new possibilities. Hang on. Okay, I got a special deck out for you. I don't get this deck out very often, but this is the Raven and the Crow Tarot. I guess it kind of works really good with this Oracle deck. I didn't really think of that. So let's see. So in regards to the shadow, which is judgment, at its shadow frequency that the 18th gene key expresses as judgment, this can appear as constant criticism of oneself, others, or the world. A tendency to focus on flaws rather than wholeness, harsh inner dialogue, or moral superiority, trying to fix others without compassion or self-awareness. At this level, judgment fragments connection. Although it often feels justified, it creates separation and stagnation rather than true improvement. And I feel like from this person's perspective, they hold themselves to a high, right? Like the way that they see things, like I said, the way they see things is very, I don't want to say grandiose, but they see things in a way that is great, right? They hold themselves to high, what's the word I'm looking for? I have no words. I'm losing my words. Okay. Courage. Face fears with courage and determination. Bravery opens doors to new possibilities. If you're seen as somebody that might be like naggy or somebody that's always complaining, right? This is Charlie in Charlie the Unicorn. Okay, this is Charlie, but it's also like the red unicorn and the not red unicorn, but there's also like this Charlie aspect. I don't know if you've ever seen Charlie the Unicorn. That's something that I myself struggle with. Sometimes just within myself, like an internal conflict of being the red, the blue, but also the black unicorn, where there can be this kind of Debbie Downer energy, where maybe you have to, and there is a fun side to you, don't get me wrong, there is a fun side to you. There's a very fun side to you, but you might get stuck in this energy of being a Debbie Downer sometimes. Let's hurry up and do this because this is getting long. I haven't even pulled the tarot out. We have the Four of Swords. The Magician. And the Lovers. That's the second time we've pulled the Lovers in the City gift, or the City spot. So there's an energy here where before we had a desire, and at the City we came to the Lovers. And here we have this nagging person, okay? So this very well could, your divine counterpart could very well be in the second pile. It's very possible. I could definitely see that. There's an energy here of giving something a break, giving something time to breathe, giving something energy to rest, taking a separation, having the courage to be alone, having the courage to be by yourself. There was a strong energy in that reading coming out about paranoia with conspiracy here. And there could be an energy here of not feeling good enough about yourself, of feeling maybe like you're getting too old, feeling like you're not pleasing your partner, feeling like your partner is attracted to maybe other people or other things that you can't give to them. So there could be an energy of that. And because you know that this person has this desire that you can't fulfill, doesn't mean that they don't love you. It doesn't mean that they don't love you. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that this person doesn't still love you. So you might have to find the courage within yourself to just let go. And I really think that that second pile is really important for you to listen to, just in regards to the other person's perspective. And I like that now I'm able to see your perspective, because I can see and I can feel where the hurt is. And it is stemmed by something out of your control. It could be your age. It could be just something you're physically not, that your partner or that somebody is attracted to, that you just physically don't have that, right? You just physically can't be that. And that might be something that really hurts you, that you don't have that you aren't able to be that for them. But know that once you step into this energy, this gift, and you connect the dots and you make the connections, and if you're able to even go back to the final one here, the previous reading, and you'll be able to see it from their perspective, you know, you can let go, and you can learn to let go of that need to control, that need to, right? But here you also need to let go of the judgment. And I think that it goes both ways. I think that your partner would also need to let go of judging you, but also you need to stop judging yourself, right? And they need to let go of desire, but you can't control them. So maybe if you release your need to have the desire, right? Because there's a desire, there's a need to control here. There's a need to confine or something that you're trying to grasp onto. Know that you have everything that you need, okay? I do feel here like you're the dragon. I feel a little bit. This could be something that's at your expense, something that goes against your morals, because you see the clock, how it's going through your throat. As if you're the Virgo, you could not be the Virgo, but you could be with a Scorpio. You could be with a Scorpio, and the Scorpio could be the crow. But there's this energy of the Lovers here. And there's this focus on the throat right here, and there's a focus on the throat right here. There's something that goes against your morals in your relationship, something that goes against your morals, and you're having to have the courage to stand up and say that you aren't okay with that you don't like that. That's not something that makes you comfortable. That's not something that makes you feel empowered. And it's your destiny to say that. But maybe it's your destiny to also release the need to control. Release the need to control another human being, even if you are in a committed relationship with them. This might be something that this person is not aware that you feel this way, because you see the heart here, and then you see the heart here. The tail being like the very end, the 12th house. This might not be something that someone knows, that you feel this way. I don't know. And notice how there's two energies, but then there's also this tree that looks like a woman. This could have something to do with children. I don't know if you're not fertile, or I don't know if you don't want to have children. You could maybe not want to have children. Maybe you don't want to have children. This could be the energy here of adoption, thinking of adopting. And so there has to be this third party that comes in. Maybe it's a surrogate. Maybe you want to raise a child, but you don't want to have a child yourself. It could be a foster child. Be a foster animal. But there's something here where there's a conflicting energy, where you and your partner aren't seeing things necessarily eye to eye on something. And if you don't speak up before the decision is made, if you're not, or if your partner doesn't speak up before the decision is made, that could cause some real issues in the future. And so you need to really be able to tap into your intuition and really understand if this person wants it, especially if it has to do with a child. Because I could never imagine, like, if you adopt a child, right? I have a sister that's adopted. We have the same birthday. We're Libras. Technically, we're Virgos. We're sidereal Virgos, though. Not tropical Virgos. We're tropical Libras. But both born the same day as Aleister Crowley. Ain't that crazy? But I could never imagine, like, her adopted parents being like, and I don't know because I don't really know her that well, but being like, well, it was all your idea to get the kid anyways, right? I could see something like that. And just like how fucking soul crushing that would be. It's already soul crushing enough to know that you were adopted out of a family. Like, that's already soul crushing enough. But then to have like that be said. So just make sure that you understand your partner's intentions and what they truly want before you make a big commitment with something, especially like, what is their morals? What is their values? What is your morals? You really need to have a sit down with not only yourself with the Four of Swords, but with this person before you make any definitive decisions on what you're going to do. We have the moon with nostalgia. Mars, energize, confront, force yourself to. Neptune, the idealization of, confusion regarding, and sacrifice. Okay. So this could be a Neptunian energy. Somebody here could have rose-colored glasses. You could have a very deep and spiritual love with someone, something that goes very spiritual, somebody that is your soulmate, somebody that's your forever partner. There's no Saturn here, which is not giving me the energy of longevity. If there was Saturn here, say we pulled Saturn here, I would feel much more, they would give me a much more strong energy of longevity. We have Mars though, so that reminds me of Donald Trump's face. There could literally be the energy here of the North Node as well. Have faith and do not worry about now is the time too. I don't know. Take with it what you will. That Donald Trump face really tripped me out. We also have Sagittarius. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius. All right. I'm going to leave that message there because this is getting long. And I want to get into the last pile. Let's finish reading what the city is because we didn't ever finish that. So we have, as the consciousness matures, judgment refines into the gift of integrity. Here, discernment becomes constructive rather than destructive. One sees what needs improvement without condemnation. Corrections are made from care, not superiority. Ethical standards are upheld through personal example. Integrity brings balance. The ability to speak truth clearly while remaining compassionate. This gene key of ethical reformer, someone who improves systems by embodying the values they wish to see. The city is perfection. At its highest expression, the 18th gene key reveals the city of perfection. Not perfection as flawlessness, but as complete acceptance of reality as it is. Nothing needs correction because everything is seen as a part of greater intelligence. Judgment dissolves into reverence. The world is experienced as inherently ordered, even in its chaos. From this state, correction arises naturally and effortlessly, aligned with universal harmony rather than personal will. How it shows up in life. People strongly influenced by the 18th gene key often have sharp perception and strong moral instincts, are drawn to roles involving improvement, healing, ethics, teaching, or reform. Feel a responsibility to make things better, especially in systems they care about. In their life lesson is learning when correction serves love and when it serves ego. Things to contemplate in order to integrate this gene key, that you need to reflect on in order to integrate them, is where criticism is rooted in fear rather than care, how self-judgment mirrors judgment of others, what changes when correction comes from compassion instead of control, and the wisdom of the 18th gene key is this: true perfection is revealed not by fixing life, but by seeing its inherent order. So the 18th gene key describes a journey of refinement through awareness, moving from criticism to ethical clarity. At its shadow level, it manifests as judgment, where the mind focuses on what is wrong, internally or externally, often leading to self-harsh criticism or the impulse to correct others without compassion. As this awareness matures, judgment transforms into the gift of correction as a tool for healing rather than control. At its highest expression, the city of perfection, the need to judge dissolves altogether, revealing a deep acceptance of life as inherently ordered and whole. Acceptance of life as inherently ordered and whole, where improvement arises naturally from alignment rather than force. There could be something about like your partner or somebody just not seeing things clearly And this Mars energy and this Moon energy could be the need to nurture or try to help someone see something more clearly, but it could be misconstrued as, just like nagging, or like like not allowing them to just be who they want to be. You could also be having, this could be a situation with a child. Okay, take with that what you will. Thank you so much for watching your reading. I hope you liked it. I hope you needed it. I hope that it helped you. Happy 2026, and I will see you on the next one. Hello. Pile 4. You could be an Aries. You could be an Aries. You like shocking people. That's what you like, or you like to be shocked. There's something about you that's very shocking, right? You like to shock people. You like to make people, like, I don't know, maybe you like scary movies. You could be somebody that likes scary movies. Or you just like the energy of like surprising people. You could be the kind of person that like when you walk into a room, you like to scare people. Like, you like that. You like that feeling that makes you smile. That makes you like to do that. How annoying. You like to make people scream, or like you like the energy of like surprising people. Maybe you like to do things that are very absurd or like just kind of crazy. All right. This could agitate people. You could be an agitator. You could be the kind of person that agitates people, makes people frustrated. Like your existence could really annoy people. Or maybe you're purposely doing something to be annoying, to agitate someone. Maybe you're taking a long time. You don't feel the need to convenience anyone. You're just chilling. Look at your little chubby face. I have this in my hologenetic profile, in my main too, actually. I'm in my tropical chart. I'm a 5-7-5-1. So I get this one. It makes sense. Like, but look at the aura around him is very light, right? So you could have the ability to like light up a room, or like you just have a very light presence, even if it is annoying. Okay, so maybe your light, your shock, the shock, or just like the absurdity of who you are could be shocking to people, and it could irritate them, it could agitate them, because your light, you put light on people's demons sometimes. He's blushing. Look at this little blush. He's blushing. Here's a little blush. He's blushing. I'm blushing. Oh gosh. Okay. Stop. Let's see. We're going to get your 3 cards out. So we have, hey baby, don't do that. We have agitation is the shadow. The gift is initiative. And the city, or the gift, is awakening. So the 51st gene key is the archetype of shock, courage, and spiritual initiation. It governs movements in life that disrupt complacency and force growth, often suddenly and unexpectedly. The gene key carries the energy of the sacred jolt that pushes consciousness out of comfort and into truth. With his light aura around him, I don't think. Yeah, he was the only one out of the ones that we pulled today. I can't see the other card. Yeah, he was really the only one that had an energy of darkness around him, but he himself is light. Okay, he's light. But he could be the kind of person that is in dark places, that associates himself with dark places, but has the ability to light up a room. Has the ability to make people see things from different perspectives. But it's in a way that's kind of like, you can't really argue with it, because it's just like so, it's so true. We have creativity. Express creativity through imagination and innovation. Add joy and originality to your life. Transformation and faith. I don't feel like this pile was super connected to the other ones. If it was connected to the other ones, it's somebody that wasn't considering themselves to be connected to the other ones. Okay, the other ones could maybe feel like this is the wild card, right? This is the Charlie of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This is the Charlie. This is the wild card, okay? This is the one that's not, he's not doing what everyone else is doing. He's a little bit different. He's not afraid to hurt your feelings either. Like, he'll hurt your feelings. He will tell you. He might even say something that's so absurd that we all know isn't the truth, but might just be, he might just say it just because it's amusing to say, just because it'll shock you that he even said that. It's like, why would you say that? You can't say that. But he'll say it. He will be the one to say that. He's not afraid to. He'll say it. He'll say it and he'll like to say it. He doesn't care. In fact, I think it's not that he wants to hurt your feelings. I feel like his blush is getting more blush as I'm talking. Oh, he's creative and he'll transform you just because of the things that he'll say. He'll make you see things in a different perspective. Okay, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it bothers you, even if it hurts your feelings, he doesn't care. He will say it. He'll say it. He will say it. And he'll have a way of saying it where you can't really argue with it. Like, you can get mad at him for saying it, but you can't really argue with him for saying it because it's like, it's just his perspective and like, he doesn't really care. He might listen. I don't think this isn't a listener. This person doesn't listen. He's not listening. He doesn't want to listen. There's nothing you could say to him. What do you have to say? What are you saying? There's nothing to say. What are you trying to say? Because whatever you're trying to say to him is not, he's not going to transform for you. You're going to transform on him, right? He's already done this. He's already awoke. He's already he hasn't slept in days. He's not sleeping. This is definitely an Aries. Not that he's not sleeping. I mean, he is sleeping. Like, he could sleep, but he's staying awake his entire sleep. Like, this person might not dream very much. I don't feel like they're dreamers. They could be even light sleepers. Or, like, if they sleep for just a second, and then, like, they wake up and they're back at it. Like, they just slept. Like, they could take a 30-minute nap, and it'll be like they just slept for 8 hours, and they'll go do a whole entire, like, long day of work just on that 30 hours. 30 minutes of sleep. I said 30 hours. I don't sleep for 30 hours. I'm a Libra, though. Let's see. At its shadow frequency, the 51st gene key manifests as agitation. This can appear as inner restlessness, competitiveness, or impulsive behavior driven by insecurity. So he could have insecurities, or maybe he creates things off of his insecurities, or maybe he creates things off of your insecurities. He can turn a negative thing positive. He can take something negative, even if it's negative coming out of him negative, even if he's creating something negative, he can still find a way to create growth off of these negative things, negative perspectives, criticisms, maybe connecting to the third pile, maybe is connected a little bit, his judgments on himself, on other people. And he might even be mean to you, critical of you, critical of himself, but has a way to turn it into creativity that somehow brings joy and originality to not only your life, but his life. This person could be a comedian, or this person could be funny. There's no competition because you don't compete where you don't compare. Like, you can try and compete with an Aries. I don't feel like you can intentionally compete with an Aries because then you've already lost. Like, you've already lost. Like, if you're intentionally trying to compete with an Aries, don't even try. But an Aries might be competing with you if you're subconsciously doing better than them. But you don't compete with the Aries because the Aries already won. The Aries already did it. It's already been done. It's reminding me of the 8 Mile. I know Eminem is a Libra, but it's reminding me of the 8 Mile like rap battle where it's like at the end, he doesn't criticize the other person, but he criticizes himself first, right? He completely breaks himself down in the worst way, therefore deflecting anything negative that he could say about him